It is now 6:49, and joining us live in the studio is Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg.
Morning.
Thanks for being with us. Happy New Year. Haven't talked to you since the New Year. Let's get right to it. The governor talked about LGBT protections in the state. You have already had your opinions expressed. We heard that you're not necessarily thrilled with what you're calling a lack of leadership. Are you concerned that we're going back to the days of the Religious Freedom Act and the controversy surrounding that and the potential impact of that?
I am. You know, America is watching Indiana right now, and they're watching to see if this is a state that can establish that discrimination is not okay. They're making this look way more complicated than it is down in Indianapolis. Either it ought to be legal to discriminate against people, or it shouldn't. And here in South Bend, we figured that out. A lot of other cities have figured that out. I was looking for the governor to take a leadership position, to say what he thought the State House should do. Instead, he punted, and now it's going to be up to the Assembly to see if they can fix it.
Also up to the Assembly right now is exactly what's going to happen with the road issue. The governor has one plan: borrow money, use some surplus money. The House Republicans have said they don't believe that's a starter. They would like to have their own plan of raising taxes for gasoline and for cigarettes. Do you have a favored proposal?
I think the House Republicans are right, and that's not a sentence I use every day. But on this issue, I think the House Republicans have come up with a reasonable plan. Look, we can't keep funding roads in the old way because people are using less gas, so gas tax doesn't work the same way it used to. They're indexing it to inflation, using a lot of other methods, and the bottom line is, if that House Republican proposal carries the day, we'll do a better job, be able to do a better job filling in potholes and taking care of the streets in places like South Bend.
Will it be enough to take care of all of the issues we have?
Look, we could always use more. That's why I was kind of hoping that Powerball would go my way. But yeah, I think it would go a long way. I think we'd be able to meet our major priorities where right now, frankly, there's a shortfall. I mean, something's got to give because we just don't have the funds to do what we want to do to maintain our roads over the next decade.
Common Council this week hit the pause button on the sale of Elbel Golf Course. What do you think about that sale? Do you think it's a good idea? And should the city get out of the golf course business altogether, maybe look at Erskine as well?
Here's the thing about Elbel. It's a great golf course, but it's costing us all in probably about $200,000 a year in subsidy. And it's not even in the city limits. So it's very tough to justify putting that kind of subsidy into a golf course. I'm fine with it being a golf course, just not necessarily one owned and operated by the government. And if you look at the Blackthorn sale, I think that could point the way for Elbel too. I'm not pulling the city out of golf altogether. I think Erskine and Studebaker serve an important role. But again, they're actually in the city. Elbel is not. Okay. And we're going to take some public input over the next couple of weeks. I welcome the council's decision to make sure there's more public input so that we make sure we're doing the right thing for everybody.
So golfers don't have to worry about Erskine going up with a for sale sign?
There's no plan for that. And, you know, again, golfers don't have to worry about Elbel either, except that they may not be getting a taxpayer subsidy on that golf game.
All right. Mayor, thanks very much for being with us.
Thank you.
Carrie, let's get updated on the forecast.
All right, we are talking